Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today I'm going to give you my OnePlus 7T Pro long-term review after 2 years. That's how long I've had this device. I've had it for a while. And I will say this device is still worth picking up to this day. It's excellent. I mean, it's great. It really is. I don't have any issues with this device at all. None. And I haven't since I've had it since day one. Okay. Released in 2019. I like the design. Love the build quality. Gorilla Glass 5 on the front and the back. No scratches on this phone at all. Now, I know, of course, it ain't going to be any scratches because I got it in the case, but no scratches on this front display at all. I've had this in my pocket with keys. No micro scratches. Nothing whatsoever. This display is my favorite part of this device, and I'm gonna tell you why. It gets adequately bright. It's a 6.67 inch Quad HD Plus 90 hertz fluid AMOLED display. 515 pixel density. It's beautiful. And also my favorite part, as you can see at the top, you see no camera cutout, and you see no what you call it, a notch. So you're getting a bezel-less display experience. No bezels at all, no cutouts, no notches, no nothing. All display. So that's my favorite part of this device. Love it. Now, with the fingerprint sensor, you got an optical in-display fingerprint sensor that works great. 100%. No problems with it at all. You get haptic feedback, and you also get different animations. As you can see, I'll show it to you again if I was too far. I'll show it to you again. Sorry about that. See, this thing is 100%, no issues at all with this in-display fingerprint sensor. None. Also, you got the pop-up selfie camera, which I'm sure you see if you look at the top. See that right there? A pop-up selfie camera, and it works good. I'll show you behind the camera, and I'm behind the camera. Even my Samsung Face Unlock don't work like this at all, not even close. So if you're the type of person that you're not worrying about this mechanism failing, I've had it over 2 years. I've used it a lot. I don't have any issues. It's just as fast as it was 2 years ago. No issues with it at all. You know, it does have drop protection, so it feels like it's falling. It'll recess back into the phone. This, I know some people saying they've had issues and it broke on them. I haven't had that problem. I mean, I don't drop my phone anyway, but the Face Unlock is excellent. No problems. I love it. And I love the fact that there's no camera cutout. There's no notch, nothing. I love that it's tucked inside the phone. Also, when it comes to the battery life on this beast, 4,085 milliamp battery, a day and a half, easily. Sometimes 2 days. The battery life on this thing is crazy. I'm talking, I've had this over 2 years, and I'm still getting between a day and a half to 2 days with heavy usage. Now let me blow your mind. Now, I don't normally do screen on time because I don't think that's a good measurement for battery life, because most people ain't gonna be on their phone for 6-7 hours straight. I mean, most people ain't doing that. Most people have a job. They got things they got to do. You know, they're using their phone, but they're not on it that often straight like that many hours. But just to test the battery again, to see how it was doing, I got 7 hours of on-screen time on this phone. That's crazy. For this phone to be 2 years old, using fast charging, 30 watts. You know, so people talk about battery degradation and all that. It has not affected this battery whatsoever. Two years, a little over 2 years, still 7 hours of screen on time, and a day and a half to 2 days of battery usage, and that's with medium to heavy usage. So y'all tell me, screen on time is, I mean, not screen on time, standby time is also excellent when it comes to this device. Excellent. Okay. Next, the dual stereo speakers. Now, they're not the best dual stereo speakers that I have in my arsenal, but these are really good. They're adequate. You know, they lacking a little bass, little fullness of sound, but they sound decent. You'll enjoy the the audio experience with these dual stereo speakers. I know I do. They don't bother me at all. I still like them. Next is the 30-watt warp charging. Now 0 to 57% in 20 minutes and 0 to 73% in 30 minutes, and just a little over an hour for full. That's not bad. Now it's not as fast as my Mi 11 Ultra, which is 36 minutes. So but still, the fact that you could get 57% charge, in 20 minutes, if you get 50% battery on this phone, it's going to last you well into the next day. That's how good the battery is on this phone. This phone sips battery. Literally, it sips battery. And I'm using 100% brightness. I use 100% brightness on all my devices. So that's impressive. Okay? So no issues when it comes to the warp charging. It's fast. It's nice and fast. I like it. Now, do I wish it was even faster? Of course, but that's just me. When it comes to overall performance, Snapdragon 855, and keep in mind, this will get Android 13. Android 12. We'll get Android 12. But the performance on this phone is excellent. This is one of the smoothest phones that I've ever used. And I'm talking, you see how fast everything opens up? How smooth it is. Now I am using what do you call it? I'm using I'm sorry, y'all. Forgive me, I'm just having a brain freeze. I'm using Nova Launcher. Okay? So it's gonna look a little different as far as the animation going in and out of going in and out of apps and stuff like that. It's gonna look a little different because I'm using Nova Launcher. And I prefer Nova Launcher. Sometimes, depending on the phone I have, but that's what I'm using. But performance has been great on this device. No performance problems. I love how smooth it is with the with the gestures. Zero issues at all. No performance problem. It performs just as well today as it did when I first got it out of the box. And keep in mind, I didn't even buy this brand new. I believe I bought this renewed or open box. One of them. I didn't buy it brand new. And I have had zero issues with this device. Now, you're probably wondering something I haven't mentioned. And that's the cameras. Now, the cameras are decent. They're not great. They're decent. Now, if you like OnePlus and you need great cameras, then you want the OnePlus 8 Pro or the 9 Pro or the 10 Pro. But if you just want a decent camera that takes decent and good photos, not crappy photos, good photos outside and great, in sunlight, you ain't gonna have a problem with this. This takes really good photos outside. No issues with that at all. But it doesn't take great photos and great video. It just doesn't. But if you're not heavily into the camera, I'm not heavily into the camera. I'm not. The only time I really take any photos is if I'm traveling, which is not often, or when I'm having some, I'm at a family function, hanging out with my family, or, me and my wife go out somewhere, she want to take photos. That's pretty much it. I'm not a selfie guy. I just don't take photos like that. I just don't. But I want a decent camera. Yes, and when I had this and took photos, it was adequate. I liked it. But cameras have improved so much, since this came out. But like I said, if you're not heavily into the camera like that, you just point and shoot, that's the kind of person you are, you're going to be fine with this camera. It's going to work fine for you. It's going to take decent photos for you. You're not going to have any issues with it at all. But overall, my 2 years and plus with this phone have been excellent. I've been very, very happy, very satisfied. No issues with this phone whatsoever. And you could get it at a dirt cheap price. You can get this phone for just a little over $200. In some cases, even less than that. Because this is the 17 Pro. Now, this is going to be a little bit more. This is going to be a little bit more as far as because you got the OnePlus 7 Pro and this is the OnePlus 7T Pro. The only difference is the 855, the Snapdragon 855 Plus chip, and some extra camera they added onto this phone, and a slightly bigger battery. That's the only difference between that phone and the OnePlus 7 7 Pro. So just to save money, I would say get the OnePlus 7 Pro because it's going to be a whole lot cheaper. This phone is still somewhat expensive because the last price I saw for this, the lowest was like 300 something, like close to $400. So I don't know why the 17 Pro is that much more expensive than the OnePlus 7 Pro. And with the OnePlus 7 Pro, you can get it 12 gig variant. This only comes in an 8 gig variant. Now this is 256, but you can't get, it doesn't come 12 gigs 256, only 8 gigs. So I would say get the OnePlus 7 Pro. But if you want the 17 Pro, you want the Snapdragon 855 Plus, slightly bigger battery, then go for this one. But this phone is great. And for those of you that still have this phone, you really don't need to upgrade to the 8 Pro or to the 9 Pro or to the 10 Pro unless you need these things, which I wish this phone had. Wireless charging, an always-on display, a headphone jack, and IP68 water and dust resistance. If you don't need those things, then I would definitely highly recommend you picking up this device. Either this one or the OnePlus 7 Pro. The OnePlus 7 Pro is going to be cheaper. But I highly recommend this phone. No doubt about it. Have had no issues whatsoever. This is a great device. OnePlus makes great devices. And their devices last for years and they don't seem to slow down. Seriously. Over 2 years and this thing still operates like it did when I first got it. That's amazing. And I've used my phones very, very heavy. No screen burning, none of that. No performance issues whatsoever. And I'm still getting updates. Okay? And this is going to get Android 12. Alright, so thank you for taking the time to view this content. I do appreciate it. Hope everybody out there is staying safe and staying well. And I'll check you guys out in the next one. Peace.